everybody. Welcome to Bill's Seadoo Midlife Crisis. I am Bill, and today I'm working on my Seadoo, there it is, 2002 GTX, and I've got the pump off, and I am going to change the cone, the grease in the cone, the O-rings in there, and basically inspect and reinstall. I didn't film taking it off, but I will film what I'm doing and putting it back on and point out a couple things. So let me just flip the camera around and show you. Okay, here we are inside the cavity. So this had to come off. That's the reverse cable. The steering cable had to come off. Nice and easy. 4 bolts around the outside came off, and this right up here is where the little hose for the cooling goes, and that had to come off, and then the whole thing. Oh, and right here the off power steering thing had to come off. All very easy. The only thing to kind of take note of are these O-rings to make sure they don't come out, and that is a reducer, which is important that doesn't go missing, because I think if you don't have the reducer in there, you end up the cooling doesn't work properly. I think you end up overheating. So just basic checks here. You can see that this has been RTV'd at some point on both sides, so that's probably been worked on. You'll see an aftermarket pump that I have inherited with this machine, which is an SBT pump, and this is kind of important to note, because the 2002, I think it's 2001, 2, and 3, I may be wrong on that, but it's definitely the 2, had a plastic pump originally, and well, that was okay and they worked. They sometimes went a little out of spec, and it would wear the wear ring out more quickly. So if I flip this around, you will see that this is pretty new. So as you can see, it's not very worn out, and you can see the wear ring is in, pretty much perfect condition, as is my impeller. And my bearings sound, well, they don't sound at all, which is exactly what you want. So you can see my tolerances are all nice and tight. The ring has no damage, so that's 100% good to go. So I am going to put the camera up and put the grease in and get this thing back together. You can see my venturi and my steering nozzle are not nearly as brand new, but I think they're okay. I'm going to just grease everything up after I put this back together, and I think it's okay. Everything's working fine, and I have no problems to speak of, other than it looks a little beat up, but who cares? So here we go. Okay, so I've already installed back right in here my 2 new O-rings. They're back in there, and I've cleaned out the grease out of the cone, so it's nice and clean. Everything's good in there, and I've cleaned out the old grease out of here, and now I am going to cut this and put the new grease in. And here we go. So here we go. I'm going to get a bunch of grease in here. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I'm going to put this in between my legs. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but I'm going to fill up as much as I can in here, the remaining grease. Okay, so there we go. That's this entire tube in there and in there. So the only thing you have to be, I think, a little aware of is making sure that those O-rings are in the right spot and that they have some grease on them. And you can just feel that all the way around, and then you're pretty much good to go. So grease on me. So once you are ready, you just line this back up and pop around this And this particular one, this just slides in pretty easily. And that's all there is to it. That's like so. And this I actually have on the wrong way. So I want to pop this off, and this should be on here like so, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think I am mistaken. Okay, so I have torqued these down, but I have to be honest, it calls for 7 Newton meters. And I think that potentially these will just keep tightening, and this plastic right here, and here, and up here will just keep expanding. So these are pretty tight. I don't think anything's expanded. It's looking, to me, looks like it's got a good seal. It's on there. I don't think it's getting any tighter. And my torque wrench is not, it's not firing off even at low torque settings. So I think that this will just keep tightening, and I think that that's good. So I'm going to leave that like that is. And we are going to move on to putting this back on. So first thing I'm going to do is, before anything, I'm just going to take a little sandpaper and I'm going to just clean this mating surface off, because it's got lots of corrosion on it. And I'm going to get that cleaned off and go from there. Okay, so just a little cleanup on the surface here, especially the little groove here where that mates up with the ridge here. And I also blew out the these are the inputs and for the bailers, and this is the water intake for the cooling system. And I don't know if you can see it, but right there is a little screen. Just make sure that that is not obstructed right there, and it's good to go. And now we're pretty much ready to put this back on. So here we go, on it goes. It just fits on there like so. Make sure everything lines up, and then we've got our bolts with our Loctite all ready to go, and we will just get these in there, and then we will tighten them up and torque them down, and that'll be that. These go in at 21 Newton meters apparently. So we will get that done and torque down, and then we will be ready to put this back on. Okay, so got it down on the ground now, because I am going to torque it, and I need the resistance of the ground. Okay, that was easy. Okay, so I'm always amazed how untight these have to be, but these are the specs that you have to pay attention to. Otherwise, you end up over tightening these and stripping them or distorting them, and of course that's bad. So 21 Newton meters for these. Not exactly sure what that is in foot-pounds.